Zane here, and welcome back. Great to be with you once again. Thanks for joining me. So today I want to talk about the great wealth transfer that is happening right now. And unless you're paying attention to it, you're going to miss the boat. You're going to be left behind. And, I know there's a lot of people out there who are doing very, very well in this inflationary environment, and they don't feel like they need to learn anything about the financial system and what's going on. But even people who are very successful that I know, even though they're immersed in their businesses and their investments and those kinds of things, most of them have an open mind to the point where if something's really going on, they want to know about it because they want to know if it's going to impact the quality of their investments and their wealth creation moving forward. And so when I talk about the great wealth transfer right now, what I'm really talking about is the digital transformation of wealth that is about to take place. And, if you've been paying attention to what's going on in the markets, you'll know that the stock market is down significantly. We've got Bitcoin that's fallen about 20-25% in the last few weeks. And there's a lot of panic. There's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the marketplace at the moment. And I do quite a number of one-on-one coaching calls with people who are looking to get involved in Bitcoin. And it's really interesting to talk with people and to find out about their motivation for getting involved in this scarce digital asset, which I think is going to represent much of this digital transformation of wealth that we're about to see. Now, if you've also been paying attention, you'll note that in America, and let's face it, America is the hotbed or the centerpiece of the global financial landscape, and essentially what happens in America has a ripple effect all around the world. And so we can't sit here in Australia and think that we're kind of isolated and immune to what's going on in the global financial system, because we only need to think back to 2020, what happened, and the impact that had in Australia. Essentially, Australia just towed the line, followed straight with what was going on with the global system, the global narrative, the impact on the financial system, how that very quickly turned into a inflationary environment that we're still seeing now. And then, of course, we've had 2008, the GFC, and even though the epicenter of that was in the US, we felt that here as well. And so with all that in mind, we have to be constantly keeping an eye on America and what's happening there. It's important that we have our finger on the pulse if we care about our financial future and the direction of where everything's going. Now, the thing to realize is that this market pullback that is going on has taken a lot of people by surprise, because most people thought that President Trump was going to come in, he was going to appoint a pro-digital asset and Bitcoin administration, and everything was going to be off to the races pretty much immediately. And so there was a lot of forward anticipatory sentiment in the marketplace prior to Trump actually walking into the White House that saw the markets kind of take off quite early, and a lot earlier than historically we've seen, certainly in the Bitcoin 4-year cycle. And so we've had a great run towards the end of last year. As soon as Trump won the election, a lot of buoyancy in the markets, a lot of positivity, and then Trump comes in, and this is the point now where this great wealth transfer is actually happening behind the scenes, and unless you're really paying attention, you're going to miss what is going on here. Now, Trump needs to drain the swamp. He has to clean house. America is in $37 trillion in debt. And that debt has been expanding to the tune of about $1 trillion every 100 days or so for the past few years. And he knows that they'll never be able to repay the debt unless they start really sharpening up their balance sheet, draining out all of the dead wood. And that's basically what's happening right now. There's a full house cleaning operation going on, and this is impacting the markets. He's imposing tariffs because he wants to get rid of the globalist agenda and bring everything back to America in terms of manufacturing. And this is really what making America great again is all about. It's about being self-sufficient as an economy and as a country. And I certainly believe that Australia should be doing the same. You know, we should be thinking the same. We have all the resources here. We have the ability to be fully self-sustainable as a nation, and yet we've sold out so much of our nation. And, you know, the impact of that is for all to see. You know, we have a cost of living crisis, we have a housing crisis, we have a growing wealth gap, we have young people now who are basically are giving up hope. They can't see a way forward for themselves based on how difficult it is now just to survive, let alone think about planning a future for themselves in regards to this great Australian dream, home ownership, raising a family, etc., etc., etc. And so, you know, this environment that we have economically, financially around the world, Australia is feeling the brunt of it, just like everybody else. And so, the bottom line to it is that a great reset is needed, but not in the form that the World Economic Forum is advocating, which of course is you will own nothing and be happy. They want to bring in central bank digital currencies, which is essentially going to create surveillance money. So we're going to get rid of cash. Everything's going to be centralized currencies that are going to be tied to social credit. It's going to have an impact on your ability to spend. You know, if you get a speeding fine, they'll be able to dial down your freedom with your ability to spend money. All of those kinds of things. They'll be able to tax you at will, essentially debit your account, and also surveil everything that you spend. And so there is a chance that CBDs will go forth. And, you know, apparently the Trump administration has assured the people that they're not for it, but it remains to be seen if that happens. And also, for those that are basically living on the breadline, then they're going to institute UBI, Universal Basic Income. So, you know, everything suggests that Australia is going to become a socialist society, certainly with the options we have in terms of elected officials at the moment. Now, unless somebody comes in who is a transformational, forward-thinking, business-minded, entrepreneurial style of figure, you know, somebody of a Clive Palmer style of mentality. I'm not suggesting that Clive should be the leader of this country, but certainly somebody with his mindset, who's a new generation style of individual who understands business and what it takes to actually run a country and you know, cut costs where needed and to make a country efficient and to get rid of the dead wood and all of these things. That's what's really important. And we need to return to nationalism, not globalism, is my opinion. And you may disagree with that, but feel free to leave me a comment below. And that's okay if you do disagree with that, but that's certainly how I feel about it. And how does all this tie into the great wealth transfer? Well, for me, what we're seeing is a pullback in the market. We're seeing kind of a calm before the storm where Trump has to clean house, get rid of all the dead wood. The market is processing all of that at the moment. You know, he's talking about tariffs. That's spooking the market as well. But in the background, we've got one of the largest accumulation phases that we've ever seen on chain for the greatest asset we've ever seen, which is Bitcoin. So mass accumulation taking place right now at the big end of town. And so, you know, the likes of BlackRock are just accumulating Bitcoin at a great rate of knots. And, you know, this is where wealth is being transferred to. We are going to see a flood of wealth being transferred from other assets into Bitcoin, because people are realizing that Bitcoin is the only truly scarce, finite, fixed supply, deflationary asset that we've ever seen. It outperforms real estate significantly. It doesn't have all of the defects that real estate has. We've just had a cyclone here in Queensland over the last week, and there's a lot of devastation and damage. Insurance premiums are going to go through the roof. People are now having to, clean up, and a lot of cost associated with that. A lot of headaches. If you've got investment properties, there's typically damage that has to be attended to now. It's going to impact your income that you're generating. I was talking with a couple last night from Melbourne who have had a significant investment property portfolio over many years, and they've all but divested all of their investment properties because the measures that have been brought in place in terms of taxation, land tax, etc., on investment properties has made it basically cost prohibitive to now be a property investor. And so they're getting out of all of their investment properties and looking for other places to park their capital. And so this is all part of the great wealth transfer that is going on. We've got the big end of town who is using this pullback, this opportunity to hoard more Bitcoin. We have forward-thinking investors and people who have capital parked in other areas who are saying to themselves, well, hang on, we're at the beginning of a digital revolution when it comes to money, so I need to start paying attention to this thing called Bitcoin, which is the best performing asset on earth over the past 16 years, and outperforming real estate by a factor of about 8 to 1, and doesn't have all the defects of real estate and all the headaches attached to it, and the rules can't be changed on me. And so I'm going to start parking a significant amount of my capital on a decentralized, portable asset that can't be tampered with. The rules can't be changed. And this is what's happening right now. And the more that people wake up to this, the more we're going to see an enormous transfer of capital and wealth from the other asset classes into Bitcoin. And so for me, the great wealth transfer is the digital transformation of wealth, with Bitcoin at the front and center of that. And the reason why Bitcoin and not other digital assets and other cryptocurrencies is because Bitcoin is the only one that is truly decentralized, without a CEO, without an issuer. It is completely portable, a fixed set of rules, is verified on the blockchain by thousands of computer nodes around the world via consensus. Every 10 minutes, new blocks of Bitcoin are created. It has a hard cap of 21 million, which can never be changed, and we're already about 95 to 96% of the way there in terms of the amount of Bitcoin that will ever be mined. And so we're coming into a supply shock now when it comes to Bitcoin. So anybody who wants to jump on this train, you better hurry up, because time is running out. This opportunity right now to get on board this train is an absolute gift. It is an absolute gift. And even if you bought into Bitcoin in the last few weeks, last month, and maybe you paid 15-20% over, just do what I did when I first got started in Bitcoin. The price dropped about 25-30% within 2 weeks. And what did I do? I just acquired more. And this is the strategy of somebody who thinks in terms of zooming out, wealth creation, somebody who's done their homework when it comes to digital scarcity and what Bitcoin truly represents. And so I just encourage you, if you're sitting on the fence when it comes to this digital transformation of wealth, this great wealth transfer, you've got to start learning about Bitcoin, because you do not want to be locked into a central bank digital currency situation. Doesn't matter how wealthy you are, how much capital you have, the rules can be changed at the flick of a switch, and you do not want to have your wealth, your livelihood, your assets, and everything in a basket that where the rules can be changed. And we don't know whether Trump's going to have an impact globally like we think. We don't know. We know he only has 4 years. A lot of people are seeing Trump as the savior who's going to actually be able to return us to proper democracy, proper free markets. Trump is a wealth guy, so he's all about market growth. And so, this is an opportunity for anybody who is also about wealth creation and making a better life for themselves. You've got to be paying attention to what's going on right now. So I want to leave it there today, but this is the great wealth transfer. For me, Bitcoin is the greatest asset to be involved in right now. And you may or may not believe that, but it comes down to doing your homework, and the more you learn about Bitcoin, the more you realize that it's not going anywhere. The only way is up for this asset class, and the value proposition and the risk profile of Bitcoin now is the best that it's ever been because of the amount of tailwinds that are now behind it. So the great wealth transfer, it's here. Get on board the train if you're not already, and just never stop learning about this asset, because we're about to see some significant changes in the financial system, and Bitcoin, if you're into freedom and sovereignty and being in absolute control of your wealth and your assets, Bitcoin is front and center, and that's the thing you should be learning about right now. Just remember, when you start to learn about Bitcoin, everything starts to shift. And when you begin to live your life on a Bitcoin standard, life only gets better. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'd love it if you join my community and you haven't already done so. Also, feel free to leave me a comment. Other than that, have a great day. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. This is Zane signing out.